So you have watched the HGTV shows, you have seen videos, social media and YouTube. Maybe you have friends or family who have flipped homes and you want to do the same. But you have questions. How do I raise capital? How do I find a deal? How do I do the renovations? Guys, I went through exactly the same thing 9 years ago. So stick with me to the end as I go over how I started flipping homes in Greater Boston, the why, the struggles I went through and the lessons learned. Now, if this is good content that you like, if you're being entertained, if you find good, valuable information, subscribe first of all, because YouTube likes that and I want this channel to grow and we can show the content to a lot more people. And guys, share it with friends and family, anyone that can benefit from this. And I'm gonna extend an invite to you for the meetup event that we have once a month in Natick, where we get together with like-minded real estate investors. So now let's jump right into the video. So let me tell you guys how I started in real estate investing. We're going back to 2014. I had sold a family business. We owned a restaurant back then. We had sold the restaurant and now I was looking for a job, right? I was now transitioning to my next stage in life, which either I had to get a job or start another business. I was lucky enough that my brother had actually purchased a multifamily building the year before. It was a 6-family building in the city of Worcester, Mass. And he had managed that a little bit and he saw the cash flow that he was getting from it. And that got him really excited. We had talked about real estate investing for years when we owned the restaurant, but never really made the jump. We didn't have these YouTube videos back then and we just didn't have the knowledge, and it would have been perfect because the restaurant was a cash business and we could have taken the profit and actually invested in real estate. Totally brand new. Maybe you watching, you are in the same position where you don't have a lot of the knowledge, and that's why I'm actually doing this video, to show you guys my thought process back then and my struggles, and hopefully inspire you and give you some action steps here to apply to your own business, right, to your own life. We got together, me and my brother, we're like, you know what? Now it's probably the perfect time to give this a try. We don't have the restaurant, we got the time, let's make it a business. But we didn't know where to start. Back then, the first thing we did was join local meetups, listen to the Bigger Pockets podcast, and number 3 is join a mastermind. And going back, those 3 decisions made all the difference. Joining a meetup and seeing other people actually do the flips, right? They were active investors. That gave me the energy and the courage that, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. Bigger Pockets back then was just starting out, but it was actually exploding. There were a lot of good videos, there were a lot of good podcasts going out. I actually listened to everything they were putting out, and there was a lot of valuable information. And then the third thing is a mastermind. I asked local people, where are they getting their knowledge? And a name that came up quite a bit was Tucker Mario. He's talking about lead generation. And we're gonna talk about lead generation next, but that was actually a great stepping stone into marketing, into understanding how to find off-market properties. One thing I haven't shared so far with you guys yet is the why. Why didn't we open another restaurant? Why didn't I take a sales job? Why didn't I start another business? Why real estate investing? And for me, my brother has been a big influence, especially with the experience he got from buying that first property, because he actually was explaining to me the property cash flows. To us back then was a foreign concept. We were obviously very knowledgeable about the active business of running a restaurant, and we had done a couple other ventures like that, but we had never had passive income come to us. So we love that idea. Real estate investing is passive and it's gonna give you the cash flow you need. It's not as simple as it sounds, right? There's a lot of value in real estate investing, but you gotta understand the business. And for us, we wanted to get to a point where we could take time off. We could live off the income and do what we wanted when we wanted. And I'll tell you this, that 9 years later, we are still working to get there. Maybe we can stop today from the asset we own, but right now there's parts of the business that we love and we have grown the business, but it's a work in progress. Real estate investing is the classic get rich slow game. So for me personally, buying and flipping homes was a stepping stone to buying more multifamily. What we realized is that if we want the cash flow from rental properties, right, the multifamily buildings, we need that 20% down, we need that 25% down to purchase the buildings. My brother did it once with a 6-family. However, the second time around, you needed another 100 grand. So I'm not sure about you guys, but to save $100,000, especially if you have a full-time job, it takes a long, long time. I could have gone to a sales job or do something else, take a year or two to save 100 grand and buy the second multifamily, or we could start a fix and flip business, get the profit from the flips and invest it on our cash flow rentals. Guys, the fix and flip business, it's an active business. It's an everyday job. It has a lot of moving parts and it's taxed at the highest level. but we use it as a stepping stone to take the profit from the few flips we do. Whenever we're ready, might be 1, 2, or 3 flips, right? If it gets us to that 100K, let's say, and that's our goal, we can take that and put it as a deposit on the multifamily building. And that's how you start to grow the multifamily portfolio that hopefully in 10 years, it gives you the cash flow to support your lifestyle. Now we know why we started. How do we make this happen? We know flips can get you money. We heard that from the meetups. We heard that from the podcast. We know people are crushing it, fixing and flipping homes. How can I do it? I don't have the construction background. I'm an immigrant in the States, right? I don't have a lot of connections. I don't have a lot of money. How can I raise the capital? How can I analyze deals? How do I know buying this property is gonna make me money? And most importantly, changing the mindset of the fact that actually I can buy a house that's worth 3, 4, 500,000. Just changing that mindset that actually, yeah, you can do it, right? Even with not having the experience. I'll be completely honest with you guys. There were definitely times starting out where it felt like a hobby. It felt like a business that I didn't want to tell anybody about because I wasn't confident enough to say, you know what? This is what I do. I find real estate, I develop them, I flip them, and I'm gonna make this a big business. I didn't have that courage. I wish I could tell you that right off the gate, we were like, we're gonna crush it. I didn't. The only thing we did is that we stayed persistent. We never gave up. The first 2 deals never made us money, but we could have been like, you know what? We'll stop right here. Forget it. This business doesn't work. Instead, we were like, let's do the next one. We purchased a house in the town of Holden, Mass. We did everything. It was me, my brother, my mom, my dad. We all helped out. Some handyman. 2 weeks before putting on the market, we had frozen pipes. Right in the middle of the winter, we weren't living at the house. So that's a story I wanted to share you guys to tell you that the world will test you. Things will happen that is gonna test you, but you gotta be persistent. If this is what you wanna do and you are 100% sure why, be clear about your why. It's not about making money. It's not about showing off, right? It's not about the social media and the videos because that thing, it's not gonna last. If you have a bigger why, though, you're gonna stick around. So we wanted to make it a business. We wanted the business to support our family and we sticked around, and the third one was a home run deal. So keep in mind, if this business is going to test you for 2 years, do you have the savings to actually make it happen? Even if you don't earn money for 2-3 years, can you survive? That's one thing. The second thing is maybe get creative. Maybe get creative in the sense that you take a part-time job. For me, when I started out in real estate investing, my part-time was Uber. In the afternoons, after I was done with my daily real estate and flip thing, I was just out there for 3-4 hours. And I did this a little bit, not too long, but it helped. Look, that's not easy. Again, it goes back to being extremely difficult time, but if that's what you want, you'll make it happen. What are you gonna do next? For a long time, especially 2010 to maybe 2014 or 15, people have bought off the MLS. And you can still go on the MLS, look for deals, nothing wrong with that. But I'll tell you that everybody else is looking on the MLS. So for us joining Tucker's mastermind, the Deal Finders Academy, where he was focusing about how to find off-market deals, was a game changer because we didn't know that side of the business. We thought that you buy houses the regular way. Go to an agent, you put an offer on the MLS. If the offer gets accepted, great, you go run with it. And we realized that when we're putting those type of offers out there, 20 other people are doing the same. So price keeps going up. For us, it was about off-market deals. We didn't know what that meant, but being part of the mastermind, we were able to get educated on, hey, you can reach out to people. It doesn't have to be through an agent. You can call a homeowner and say, hey, do you want to sell that house? So now you start learning about lead generation for off-market properties. So let's say you got a call from someone. Let's say it's an agent that brought you a deal or a phone call from one of your letters. So now you have to be ready to keep moving forward with a cash offer. And this is the time you gotta execute. Guys, this is the time you gotta know how to run numbers. Knowing the numbers, especially on value of the property, is extremely difficult. If you have lived in the area, it's a little easier. You might know what's selling around you. And if you are real estate agents, it's even better because again, you can see the comps in the neighborhood, that what's selling at what price. But if you don't know any of that, which in 2014 when I started, I had never actually been in the town of Wayland, never mind understand the property values in Wayland, right? I'd never driven through the town. So it's difficult. How do you put a price point on a property? Should I buy it for 100,000 or should I buy it for $1 million, right? Like, I don't know. Starting out, find a great agent. I think that is extremely valuable. Obviously, you can do what I did, which I became an agent. I educated myself. I asked other people at the meetup, at the mastermind, how they're running numbers. Now you can watch videos like mine and others, right? And educate yourself on how to run comps. But you gotta find another comparable sale. Hopefully in the last 3 to 6 months, the market we're in with high interest rates, you probably gotta find a similar comp in the last 30 to 60 days, right? Because you won't relevant comps. And by that I mean similar home to the one you're buying, similar area to the one you're buying. Maybe you go half a mile out as far as radius for your comp, but you don't want to go to Framingham looking at another house, right? Because that's a different town, different property value. Or you can hire a local agent that does really good work in town and everyone knows, and you go talk to them. Obviously, when you're fixing and flipping, you need an agent to list the property in the back end once renovations are done. So why not get them involved up front? They can come close to an accurate number that your property will sell, right? 3-6 months down the road once you're done with renovations. So knowing the number and moving backwards from there, subtracting the construction cost, subtracting the soft cost, the lender's fees, all the insurance, all of that stuff, it's gonna give you a good starting point or what number to offer to the seller of the property. Next thing, let's say the seller accepts your offer, you got a signed contract, and that's awesome, that's what we shoot for. Now you gotta raise the capital. For us, the first deal was a combination of our own capital and a local bank. I mentioned before, my partner, my brother, he owned a property. He had purchased a 6-unit building and had secured financing from a local bank in the past. He built a relationship with them, so when the flip came about, the bank was willing to actually fund us. That is important to know because local banks will do that for you if you have a relationship, or go find a partner that has that relationship with a local bank, or find a partner that has the money to invest. Look, if you guys come to us with a great smoking deal, we'll do the funding. More than happy to do that, right? Because if someone brings us a deal, there's a lot of value in that. So if you get really good at lead generation, I'm more than happy to step in as a partner, secure the capital, do the renovations, and get us to the finish line and split the profits 50-50. Let's go there next. You got the deal, you secured the financing, I connected you with a hard money lender, you got the 10% down payment that you can put out of pocket. So what next? This is a big part of the whole fix and flip game, guys. It's about renovating a property to the best of your abilities to make money. I'm being extremely honest with you. I don't come from the construction background. I didn't know what they were talking about when they talk about 2x4s. I had to really Google it. I didn't understand the process. So on that first Wayland property, I hired a general contractor. I'm not going to talk about anybody here, obviously, and give much feedback because this was 9 years ago, but I wasn't happy how they handled the renovations. It could have been a lot better, but I just didn't know how to tell them if something was done right or wrong. Knowing what I know now, I would have been very happy to actually partner with a builder or partner with someone that was doing flips, bring them the deal and let them run the construction while I was being next to them looking at the progress and asking questions. The other person I hired back then other than the GC was a architect. And if you're gonna do renovations, you have to find a great architect because that's another amazing team player you need to tell you what can be done with the house. I wanna stop here for a second because you gotta build a team. Just like any team out there, it's not just one person running in, it's not just the coach, it's other people around him. Same thing in real estate investing world. You are running the show, but you have your team players, which for our business starts with the attorney because they are helping you with all the paperwork. You need a great real estate attorney, the general contractor if you are hiring one, but the architect is one of those subcontractors that can make a huge difference because they have the vision and they can tell you what to actually renovate and what not to renovate, especially if they work with investors. And then obviously the real estate agent. So we're gonna wrap this process by talking about the sale of the property. The project in Wayland, that was my first one. I think I did it right, but there's things that I could have done better. But one thing that I did from that first project, and I've done it since, is actually stage the property. This one in Littleton, obviously you guys can see the staging. Chelsea does an amazing job. If you need a referral, an introduction, comment below and I'll do that. But staging is one of those things that we always see a return on investment because people coming here for the open house, they feel at home, they feel good, and that's why they actually submit an offer. And for us, we want offers, right? Obviously we're looking for the more offers, then we can negotiate a higher price. So we do that through staging, we do that through curb appeal on the outside with some light landscaping. Obviously we don't want to over improve the property, so if we can save on putting fences, if we can save on cutting a lot of trees, if we can save on some of the landscape, we're always aware of that. But you want some curb appeal. You want the curb appeal and you want the buyers when they pull up to the driveway to be like, oh wow, and they come inside and it's warm and you got the staging, you know, they feel great, right? So that's the type of experience you want to provide. The other important part is the listing price. I've mentioned the agent over and over and over here, but having a good agent will price the property at the right number. You don't want to overprice it, and you don't want to underprice it by a lot either. Guys, that's all I got for you. I wanted to be as open and honest as possible. If you guys are local to my market, I've said it again, I'm gonna say it here, come join me at the meetup. Guys, I really wanna see you there. Say hi, come and raise your hand, introduce yourself, ask for help, whatever you need. That's the space that we have created for people to hang out. And we also bring in guest speakers. And hopefully that will help you in your real estate business, in your real estate journey. So look forward to seeing you guys there. The other thing is the newsletter. If you wanna know what I'm up to, what Whiteacre is up to, what deals do we got going on, what meetup events and everything that we do, we share that with you all once a month. We have a newsletter that goes out to everyone on our database. So if you guys want to know more about that, fill out the form below and you'll get one email a month with everything we're up to. Now, I had promised you guys that I was going to answer one question from the comments I've got, and I love when you guys do that. So please do that more. So here it is. This one is from BH7214. The question is, what aspects of a property could help me identify a good fix and flip opportunity in this market? How can I identify a good property? This is how I look at it right now. In Greater Boston, we have a lot of old stock, right? A lot of old houses. So if you can find a property that's built in 1950 or later, first of all, that's always the best, because those type of properties, the framing is great. Typically, even if you have to change roofing and siding, but the structure is sound, then you focus just on bathrooms, kitchen, maybe you move some walls and open up the floor plan. That's pretty much it, right? So it's cosmetic updates. And the reason why I like this type of properties is because it shrinks the timeline of the renovations. They are less risky. You can turn the project around faster. And in real estate investing, guys, I know you know this, but I want to say it again, time is money. If you can turn a project in 3 months or 4 months instead of 8, well, you just made a lot more money. Instead of paying the interest on your loan, now that is your own profit. All right, guys, that's all I got. Again, hopefully it's valuable. Would love to hear from you, seeing you in person. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you guys on the next one.